Well, welcome back to Vel, Ohio, and welcome to the beautiful morning of July 26th. I am just outside of Chillicothe in Circleville, and today it's kind of vengeance, return to the beast that is the 6-hour time trial. This time it is not Calvin's Challenge, it is the 6/12/24 Midwest Time Trial Championships put on by local endurance legend Joe Lawhorn and his wife Heather. If you don't know Joe, he's one of those guys where he could just say, Google me, right? But fixed gear velodrome, record holder, world champion, Ram, multiple time finisher, champion, the accolades go on and on. I don't think I have his resume on hand here, but today I'll be tackling another 6-hour time trial, and fortunately, unlike Calvin's Challenge, we will not have 30-mile-an-hour winds. However, I don't think they put these solar panels here by accident. It's going to be in the low 90s by the time I wrap up today, so hydration will be a primary concern, along with pumping maybe 80 grams of carbs per hour. Because of the calm weather conditions today, with respect to wind, I am finally going to be able to unleash the Quintana Roo in its ultra endurance setup. So I've got the speed fill main reservoir in the main triangle of the bike. That's going to run the straw up to the handlebars. That holds about 1.2 liters. I'll start with that full today. I'm going to have a between the arms bottle and 2 1-liter bottles on the back. Again, that should be about 80 grams of carbs per hour. I think this will be enough to get me through all 6 hours without needing to pit. It was sufficient for me at Calvin's Challenge. Minor upgrades to the Quintana Roo this year. I do have a new outer chain ring and inner chain ring, slightly more aerodynamic. The chain is waxed, that's nothing new, but I did upgrade to 11 speed. Not that that extra cog's gonna really do too much. I was just sick of my Quintana Roo not being compatible on the trainer with my other bikes that are all 11 speed. Some real marginal gains here, but I put a Trimax Aero front brake caliper that my measured 25 GP5000 just squeezes underneath. I got to get the race suit on, the Batman suit on, get ready for war here. I don't plan on taking any video during the event like last time. For one thing, it's not the most engaging video watching a solo 6-hour time trial, but I'm also just going to need to have my head in the game. So check in with you after the race and wish me luck. My own little oasis here. I think I'm reduced to one-word answers, if you can even hear me. 6 hours, 93 degrees, hot, yes. Fun, maybe. Shade, sun, oh yeah. Pleased? I think so. Definitely positive split, but I think under these conditions you have to get while the getting's good. So I was averaging about 22 miles an hour for the first 3 hours and then kind of fell apart. But if I'd been going 18 in the first 3 hours, I think that would have fallen apart anyway. So some savior, damsel in distress version 2.0. She gave me an ice sock, and I did chest and lungs, and it really brought me back to life. I did way more fluid than I thought I would. Probably close to 6.5 liters. And I need more, so awaiting results. I'm gonna cool down here. And just like that, we have time traveled 2 months. It is now late September. I don't know why I always wait so long to do these recaps. Sometimes because I feel like I don't have a good spot to shoot it that relates to the event, and I feel just kind of silly sitting at my desk here in my office. So this is somewhat bike related, just wrapped up. Sam Long's favorite set of intervals here on Ruby. He's a world-class Ironman. It was basically 4 by 10 minutes of sweet spot with 3 minutes in between. But let's get back to the race. Like I said, I'm 2 months out here, so I've had some time to reflect on the race and some time to forget about the particulars, but try to summarize it. Starting out, all the 6-hour guys went off at the same time. It seemed to be about a dozen of us, and not that there was drafting allowed or that anyone was trying to draft, but I started at the front of the pack, second place, and about 3 people passed me, sitting in at 5th. And there's that moment where you just say, do I just keep pace with these people? If I let them out of my sight, is my day over? You know, because my goal was to get onto the podium. And I hung in there with them, you know, doing kind of mid to high tempo effort, which was not what I wanted to do for 6 hours. So I just told myself, listen, if they're better than you, they're gonna beat you. So you can't keep this up. And if you keep it up, you already know you can't keep it up, so they're gonna beat you. So I just settled into my own pacing strategy for the day. It was, you know, decently cool out at that point. I think low 70s, mid 70s. And I was trying to stick to around 175 to 180 watts. And tucking into my position with the Rudy WIngdream helmet on, I mean, I was holding like 22 miles an hour. It felt really efficient. Course was 19 miles and change, just under 200 feet of climbing per lap. And most of that descending and ascending happened within 2 miles of the start-finish line. So really it was pretty flat. The first half was rougher. The second half was smoother, which wasn't really of any consequence in the first couple laps. But as the fatigue set in, I started to realize what all these people talk about when they say, you know, even on a TT bike, it's worth having 28 millimeters plus tire width, because, you know, you get fatigued. All that rough terrain just really kind of rattles and rocks you around. You know, and when you're kind of searching for morale, it just doesn't feel good. You're not comfortable. Anyway, first lap goes by. I don't pass anyone. Course is looking great. My body's feeling great. Carrying about 4 liters of fluid on the bike, which is, you know, Gatorade powder with extra sugar mixed in. So I'm doing about 90 grams of carbs per hour. Second lap goes by. About, I don't know, 3/4 of the way, I did finally pass somebody who, you know, bless their heart, was on a road bike, still holding a really good aero position, but that's gonna fatigue you after a while. So bumped up into 4th. Didn't see anyone on the 3rd lap. Temperatures were beginning to build into the 80s, but I was still feeling great, still holding position really well. Lap 4 comes around. Now, temperatures are getting into the 90s, and I'm starting to see something that I hadn't seen in a while. Even though I was training for 2 6-hour races this year, I really only have like an hour a day to train. So what I was seeing was a decoupling of my power and my heart rate. Whereas I was holding 138 beats, 175 watts before, now I'm doing about 160 beats for that same wattage. And that's just because as your body gets heated up, you become less efficient. You're spending so much energy just trying to keep your body cool. No coincidence, on that lap, I passed 2 more people. One thing I was experiencing, end of lap 4, basically coming up on hour 4 of 6, was that I was getting a lot of neck fatigue. In addition to overheating, you know, that big WIngdream helmet looks like Rick Moranis from Spaceballs, but it's fast, so I'll wear it. I hadn't been holding an aero position like that for 4 hours in a row with a helmet that's about 120 grams heavier than even my Giro Vanquish. So I thought, I'm already running low on fluids here. I'm consuming way more than I had consumed at Calvin's challenge, which was 6 hours, but also back in May. So quickly decided to pull off to my car, which is right at the finish line. I jump out, I switch helmets, I put some chamois cream in, and I had been talking with this couple before the race. He was on a recumbent bike, so we were just kind of chit-chatting. He was in from Minnesota to do this event. He said they don't have a lot of ultras out there. And I noticed that he had been getting some ice socks ready. So switch helmets, throw another bottle on, chug a bottle. I'm going back to my bike and I realize I'm a little googly. I don't even know where I put my bike. Was it on this side of the car, this side of the car? And I think the man's wife noticed me kind of fumbling around, and she was like, hey, do you want an ice sock? And I was like, I'll take anything, definitely. Ice sock, sure. Never tried it, never try anything new on race day, but yes, I want in. So ice sock on the chest, ice sock on the back. I take off and it was like a new lease on life. Now granted, I had about a 1 minute rest, but those power numbers in my heart rate recoupled. They went right back to normal. I mean, that power of cooling, underappreciated, underrepresented, I don't know. I didn't think it would make that dramatic of an effect, but it certainly did. And it lasted about 35, 40 minutes of that lap. And as soon as all that ice had melted off, my heart rate and power decoupled again. I'm like, that's crazy. So I was out of fluids, go back to my car, get a new bottle. She's like, ice sock? And I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, I'll give you $1 for every cube that's in that thing. Finish up the last lap. To my knowledge, felt like I was still in second or third place. I couldn't really keep track anymore. Finished the sixth lap, and they just kind of gave us the honor code that, you know, just ride out the 6 hours, take a picture with your phone. So went past the start line, tacked on another, I don't know, 5 miles or something. Ended up 6 hours, 173 watts average, I believe, for 125 miles at 21 miles per hour. So basically 2.5 miles per hour faster and 13 miles further than I had done 2 months prior at Calvin's challenge, which is an effect of heat training that I had been doing with hot water bath immersion, extra training time, less windy conditions, and then also using the Quintana Roo instead of the converted gravel bike with aero bars on the day. So I'm pleased. Post-race, I was in pure recovery mode. There was a tent that was set up by one of the other competitors' families, full of fans and just really out of the sun. Kind of hobbled over into that, sat down, and that sensation of stopping after having been going for so long at such a, well, you know, moderate intensity, but my body was certainly working hard. It's like your muscles are just turning inside out, just, you know, the ache. I mean, you could see the video, just the look on my face, everything just feels like it's trying to do a 360. Outside's going in, inside's going out. But the only comfort in that is that I've felt it before, so I know that it too shall pass. And big kudos to Joe and Heather for putting on such a good event. Heather came over to me, let me know that I had come in second place. I was pretty safely behind first place and pretty safely ahead of third place, that no amount of, you know, last second implosion or explosion of watts could have really changed my position. So that was really my A priority race, A priority goal of the year. See what I was capable of over 6 hours. I hadn't done a race like that since my Ironman in 2014, which took me 6:19 to do 112. And I just thought, well, with all this training I've done in the last dozen years, I wonder how much faster I would be now. And basically, it's the difference between 17 miles an hour and 21 miles an hour. But I didn't have to swim before or run afterwards. So I did take part in a gravel race after this 6:12:24 Midwest Time Trial Championship. Video should be coming out soon. And as I warm down, cool down here on my trainer bike, my secret trainer bike. That'll be the topic of an upcoming video. And again, you know, I'm a sucker for hardware. I'm a sucker for attention, hence making these videos. So I'll take any chance I can get to get a plaque, a medal, and a podium. Oh, and speaking of medals and plaques, yeah, please check out the pictures. The award was very unique and unlike anything that I had ever received at any other event. Thanks again to Heather and Joe, great event. Guys, please check it out next year, and please stay tuned for the next video. I hope it's another banger.